woman. Hey, my name is Kelly Bourbon, Bourbon like the booze, and I am here to tell you that I am gay. I know, oh my god, shocking, what? We had no idea. For those of you who didn't know, I am gay, and it's taken me a super long time to accept that. This past week at my school, I was asked to speak at an LGBT event, actually our first LGBT event on campus. And I told my coming out story. When you tell your coming out story, you're sharing a very vulnerable part of yourself that most people don't go through. Most people don't know what it's like to be a shell of yourself for your entire life, or for most of it, in my case. So to kind of share something that I haven't shared with the world, or even with my friends and family, is a big deal. And I think it's important to show people that you can start from anywhere, and that it doesn't matter if you find out that you're gay when you're 10 or when you're 35. It's just important that you start living life as you, because who else would you want to be? So, without further ado, my friend Alyssa filmed my speech from the event, and I'm going to upload it here. So here's my story.
Kelly Bourbon. She is a media studies major and a sophomore here at CUA. Kelly spends her summers as a camp counselor, and she makes YouTube videos in her spare time.
I'm Kelly Bourbon, Bourbon like the booze. And I'm gay. You have no idea how long it's taken me to say that out loud. All throughout my life, there were signs, clear signs. The earliest one I remember was in preschool. My mom said, "Oh, we're going to go get your hair cut," and I was like pointing to this kid James. I said, "I want that one." My mom was like, "No, that's a boy." All right, whatever. I never want to wear dresses, never want to wear makeup. I wore a tie to school once, and that no one questioned anything. But all throughout late middle school and high school, I was known as the girl that wanted to be a boy, and like the butch girl, and we'd leave for a fire drill, and I'd come back, and on my notebook was written dyke and stuff like that. So it wasn't the easiest time for me. So I really kind of conceited inside myself, and I had a really hard time at home. I didn't talk to anyone, didn't have many friends, and when I was 15, almost 16, I fell in love, and I fell in love with a girl. Now, when I fell in love with this girl, I didn't see her gender, I didn't see her age, I didn't see her weight, I didn't see anything. All I saw was that I loved her, and I was in love. Like Kelly Bourbon, the dyke at school, the loser, was in love. And that's all I cared about. So I wanted to tell the world, and I thought it was the best thing ever. And she was much older than me, and she did not want to tell the world. So we'll call her Michelle. So Michelle and I dated for 3 years, and in that 3 years, I realized that it wasn't just her. I liked girls a lot. Those are some of the scariest moments to me, because realizing that I like girls, that changed who I was, changed the life I was living. I grew up, and you hear me now. I grew up watching Disney movies. I saw my parents, mom and dad, my uncle. No one was gay in my family, no one was gay in my town. No one was out. I saw that as, I'm going to get married to a nice guy, and I'm going to have kids, and I'm going to have a nice, happy life. So the thought that I like girls really terrified me, because this meant that I could not get married, and I could not have kids. And this whole life that I thought out for myself could no longer happen. So it's terrifying. I didn't want to be gay. But eventually, now, we've gotten much better, with legalization of same-sex marriage, that's insane. Now, something that I dreamed of as a kid, as we move now. Like, I don't think people realize that when no one comes out of the womb saying, oh, I'm gay, like, no one comes out, no. Like, we figure it out sooner or later. So people have these dreams, and they're completely changed. You take that away from someone. You make them feel like less of a person, less of a human when you do that. So Michelle and I did it for 3 years, and it was a very toxic relationship. It was a very, very positive relationship. No one knew but me and her. Not my mom, or my dad, or my friends. My dog didn't even know. So it was very detrimental to my mental health and my stability. I couldn't tell anyone. So the 2 friends that I did have, I distanced myself from them. I was very, just alone. Me and her, she became my everything, my world. And it was very manipulative. I couldn't dress how I wanted. I couldn't cut my hair. I couldn't be me because that could potentially lead back to people thinking she was gay. And she had a very big problem with that. So I could never be me. But last year, the end of my first semester, in December, I found out that she had cheated on me. And she told me that she wanted to marry a man. So this was completely traumatic to me. The fact that my world was now gone. She was with me for 3 years, and I separated myself from everyone who could have helped me, and now she was gone. So I became very depressed. I became very unstable mentally, and when I came back to CUA, I started going to a counseling center because I needed to tell someone. I needed to find out how to piece myself back together. And by going to the counseling center, I finally started to accept myself for who I was. I finally decided to cut my hair. And I finally started telling people that I like girls and that I could have a girlfriend. Actually, the first time that I felt out and okay and accepted as being gay was I was sitting in the hallway of Regan. And woo! Regan roses! So sitting in the hallway of Regan, and my best friend here now she lived across the hall from me. She came out, we were sitting, and I was on Tumblr. I'm sure many of you know what that is. So I was on Tumblr, and a picture of 2 girls kissing came up, and I'm quickly scrolling past her, oh my god, did she see? And she turns to me and she goes, Kelly, go back. And I was like, no. So I scroll up, and she goes, why are you scrolling past it? That's hot. And I was like, what? So that was the first time that I felt wow, she just treated me like a normal human being. Wow, I can be gay. So I started telling my friends here at CUA, I started coming out, I wrote a letter to my dad, I called my sister, and soon enough, I didn't have to tell anyone anymore. So I started dressing differently. I had this wonderful support group here that started here, and then continued back home with my friends at camp. But by having that support group, I was able to be me. I went to the guys section at the store. I remember one time I tweeted, oh, I can't go in the guys section or whatever, wish I could, I'm with my mom. My friend tweeted back to me and she was like, go in the men's section. What are you doing? I was like, all right. So, and then, when I'm having a bad day, I'll get a picture of Vanessa Hudgens. But so once I cut my hair, it went through several bad stages. But once I cut it, had it how I wanted it, and I finally had an outfit together that I liked, that I found, I looked in the mirror and I felt like for the first time I was looking back. And it's really hard for people to imagine what that's like. My entire life, I've been uncomfortable. I didn't know what feeling comfortable was until I came out. I didn't know what that feeling was. Can you imagine what feeling uncomfortable for your entire life? It's awful. So to have done that in every aspect of my life, but faith was really awesome. But it still bothered me. I came to Catholic University of America, and my family's Catholic. I felt like faith was very important to me. And I was trying to get back and go to church, but I just didn't get the whole, idea that the church has about gays. So, on Ash Wednesday, that was the first day that I went back to church. And I went with my 2 friends, and I ended up, we couldn't all sit together, so I was kind of alone, and I was like, oh no, I have no support here. I felt like an outsider. I felt like I shouldn't be there. And Father Jude was actually giving a sermon, and he said that everyone is a cafeteria Catholic, meaning that we all pick and choose things in the Catholic faith that we do and do not agree with. And that changed my whole life. I felt like for the first time I could be Catholic again. I could love God. I felt for the first time that God saw me, and I didn't feel like I was not allowed in the church. And since then I've gone back again and again, and I prayed again, and I feel like my life is finally back where it should be. So the Catholic University of America is the first place that I could be me. It is the first place that I found love, and it's the place that I'm going to stay.
Thank you so much for watching. It means a lot to me. It meant a lot to me to see people I knew in the audience, to see how many people came out just to come support. And I just want to relay the same message, and I want to give people hope, just as people gave me hope. So if anyone wants me to talk more about LGBT or mental health, I will be glad to. There are going to be more videos coming your way, so keep watching. Again, thank you, and have a wonderful day. I'm actually wearing neon shorts, and that's why there's this yellow glow on my arm. But I was trying to look nice from the top half up. I also cleaned my room for this, so you're welcome.